As a young boy, I remember my uncle and aunt visiting our house in Limerick from County Roscommon. On their journey through the Midlands, they had seen a star fall, and rooted in traditional sentiment, they fully expected to receive the news that someone they knew and loved had died. It was before the era of mobile phones, so when they arrived at our house, they had the expectation that they would be met with tearful news. Only recently did I fully begin to grasp that what are called supernovas are the death eruptions of the stars. The Hubble Space Telescope photographs of them are so stunningly beautiful that it is easy to forget that what we see are really images of death and destruction. We live in a culture that fears death and suffers great discomfort in its presence. Some deep thinkers explain this fear as an outcome from living out of me rather than we. We have no choice about whether or not we die. But what the Paschal mystery teaches us is that we can choose not to flee from death, but to meet it with grace. During Holy Week, we usually focus on Jesus' death on the cross, naming that experience as He's dying that saves us. What we sometimes forget to consider is that the cross was the final moment in a series of dyings that Jesus suffered as His human life came to a close. There was the dying of having to turn over His life's work to others, disciples who did not understand, who did not appear prepared for the undertaking. There was the dying to relationships. Mary and Martha and Lazarus had been friends of Jesus, and on His last visit, Martha served a meal while Mary anointed His feet with aromatic nard. These friendships had been a source of support and love for Jesus. And like any human being, He would have been greatly distressed to say goodbye. Jesus suffered the dying of knowing He was about to be betrayed by Judas and rejected by Peter. He experienced a dying as he watched the horrified face of His mother, whose heart throbbed for her son and who would have gladly borne the lashes and nails for Him. Jesus met all these with the awareness that is the fruit of the contemplative way in which He lived. Perhaps all these dyings were met with such grace because throughout His life, Jesus had practiced dying over and over again, those little deaths that we so much want to avoid. Each of the little dyings releases the Spirit, and a lifetime of such choices manifests as a spiritual power that cannot be defeated by death, not even death on a cross. I imagine today the unbearable pain of the family and friends of Una Bowden and her daughters Kira and Saoirse, so tragically killed in a car accident in Mayo, and the family and friends of Rian Sheridan, similarly tragically killed in County Roscommon. Words fail us, but the Paschal mystery which we ponder these days helps us to sense that even in death a spirit is released and grace can be companion to our grief and broken hearts. Amen.